Hey guys, this is Blake from Blake's Sanctum, retro site for retro games. Today I am bringing you another very good Star Trek fan game for my as part of the tributes I've been doing on my Star Trek gaming section. I've been looking at a lot of the Star Trek games I grew up playing and also all the brilliant fan projects out there, tributing as many as I can find. So if you know of a few and you think I might have missed some, let me know on the site. But today I'm bringing you Star Trek Supremacy, as you can see on the screen here. Now, when I was playing games as I was younger, one of the best of them all was Star Trek Birth of the Federation. It is, I believe to date, still the only official turn-based strategy Star Trek game. There's been a few real-time strategy ones. But I would say this is, I mean, I loved the Armada games, but I'd say the Birth of the Federation was probably my favourite. I spent the most hours playing that one when I was young. It was insane. I still remember the day when I got it. My mate and I drove all around Adelaide trying to find a store that had a copy, because like they'd all run out. Every Trekkie in my city had got to the stores before I had, and we managed to get one right as they were closing at like 9 o'clock at night, and we took it home, and both my mate and I were just playing it and playing it and playing it, and it was utterly brilliant. But you know, sadly it never got a sequel. You know, to this day, it still has an active fan base and still modded by a big devoted community, and you know, it's a real tragedy that there was never an official sequel, because there was just all these licensing issues, and this was one of the last games that Microprose did under the Star Trek name there. I think the Birth of the Federation 2 went on to do Master of Magic and then all lost their jobs. Sorry, the Master of Magic sequel, which I would have equally loved, and they got fired, and then Hasbro terminated everything, and that was the end of all that. But in the 20 or whatever years since, probably 18 years now actually, since '99 when that came out, over a lot of that time there's been various fan sequels in the making, and there were two big ones, and the biggest was Star Trek Supremacy, which in the years since has actually split into two projects, one continuing Supremacy and one going by the name Birth of the Federation 2. I don't know why they split. I'm guessing there was some creative differences, and both projects are still alive and well, which is the important thing. And then the other project was Birth of the Empires, which started as a Birth of the Federation 2 project sequel, but as they were a bit worried about legal issues, so they changed it into a non-Star Trek game with completely original content and assets and everything. And all three projects are really good. They're utterly brilliant. But they all have their well, they got their advantages, but they've also got some disadvantages too. And Supremacy is very stable. That's definitely its biggest advantage. It's very stable. I haven't had any problems playing it. It's got a beautiful interface. All the alien races now have a nice sort of alien interface, whereas that was one of its weaknesses before. Everyone just had the Federation LCARs, but now you've got nice alien stuff. It's really its only disadvantage that it hasn't got quite as much content as the other two projects. It's there's less you can play with, but there's still a lot. The Birth of the Federation 2 Break-Off project has lots more features. It's got lots more sound effects as well, just ordering units around and stuff. And best of all, you can play as the BORG, which is freaky, just utterly freaky. However, its disadvantage is that currently it's rather unstable and can crash a lot. I had troubles with it in 2016, I had another go now in 2017, and I'm still struggling with it a bit, but hopefully I can actually help those guys with a few of the bugs, because since I'll be doing a video I'll be able to catch all of them. But and then last of all, Birth of the Empires. That one is actually, that's biggest advantage is that it's pretty much a finished, fully playable and complete game. It's been out for years, it's very polished, and its only disadvantage is the fact that they've dropped Star Trek, and it's no Star Trek stuff in there. But you can easily see what all the equivalents are, and they've, you know, people have said over the years that at some point they'll do like someone should make a Star Trek mod for the game, and then you'll have your Birth of the Federation 2 sequel. But as far as I know, no one's attempted that yet. But so to show off these three brilliant projects, I'm going to do a 3-part video series with devoting 1 part to each of the 3 games. So this first part I'm going to devote to Supremacy. mainly because it's just the easiest one to start with. And then I'll do a Birth of the Federation 2 one, and then I'll do a Birth of the Empires one. So if you're interested in those other projects as well, or you're done with this one at some point, you want to get into the other stuff, I'll have links in my end card to this video, and I'll also have links down in the video description as well. So let's get started. Let's stop rambling. Introduction over.
The United Federation of Planets.
So here we go. So you can start a new game. Of course, the Federation's there. I like the photo choice. I always liked the look of the president of the United Federation planets in Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. So it's a good choice. So I like that. And I'm going to do Supreme Tech level, just so I can show off as much of the game's goodies as possible. And
the Romulan Star Empire.
Romulan Star Empire there. Interesting. They chose this space. He was the what do they call the leader of the Romulan Empire? Praetor, is it? Oh, I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, funny they picked that guy because he's actually an Australian actor. He used to be in some really annoying TV shows here, and then 20 years later he's been just in everything in America.
The Klingon Empire.
Klingon Empire, which I believe that's Kayla's, the Kayla's clone, the test tube Kayla's, and
the Cardassian Union.
Cardassians. Damar there, looking happy as usual. Probably had a few too many. What do they call the Cardassian alcohol? Can't even remember now. I'll think of it later.
The Dominion.
The Dominion. I reckon they could have picked a better voice than that. I reckon Wayun. They should have had the Wayun. Like, in particular, the line that comes to my head is that episode just before they attack Deep Space Nine, and the arrogant Cardassians are sort of saying, "Oh yeah, let's attack Bajor after DS9. You know, don't worry about the treaty." And Wayun is like, "The Dominion will honor its treaty." You know, and he says it in a very stern but slow and calm way. If you take the Dominion out of that sentence and put it here, I reckon it'll be perfect. But anyway, that's a very small complaint.
The United Federation.
I want to show you
of
Federations
Planets.
first. Let's do that. Setting up the game world. Here we go. Looks like we're on the side of the map. Can zoom out. Oh, yeah, looks like a pretty decent sized galaxy there. And what do we got here? Oh, here we got some scout ships. Send that around. The thing I love straight away is that it's smooth, it's fast, it almost looks like smoother, faster, and better than the original game. Like, it just looks more professional. I mean, look at the animation. I mean, these planets look excellent. There's Australia spinning around there. That is a proper Earth. There's Africa. It's beautiful. Really nicely done. And it's a more accurate solar system. I think the one in the original game was not quite as accurate. Whereas look at that. I mean, they've actually put in all the planets. And obviously someone's a Pluto fan in this one there. It's a real planet, damn it, as they made this thing. It's what else? Oh, the music is also really good as well. I'm noticing, like, and of course they had to use original stuff, so they're not triggering too many copyrights, and the music's really nice. I like everything I've heard so far. So let me see, what can I show you? We've got oh yes, so we're going into the solar system now. I love the images they've used for the buildings. I mean, some fleet listening post. Look at this. Great artwork. Because I mean, obviously that's from the show. They've just picked really cool futuristic artwork that would be fitting in an advanced Federation city. Look at this. Oh, look at that. That's a shot of it from Utopia Planitia Yards, Daystrom Institute, Genetics Research Lab, Health Center, Moon Habitat. Oh, I love that picture. Was that the picture they used on the 3D printing news thing? I think it might be. When they were talking about 3D printing a moon base. New service, orbital battery, shield generator, subspace jammer, surplus depot. Oh, look at that. Utopia Planitia. Isn't that wicked? All the starships there. That's a great picture. We've got shipbuilding. Oh yeah, sadly, they started making 3D models, presumably with the intention of them ending up in a full 3D battle engine like the original game had, but it only got partially done. So if you start with beginning Federation text, you'll see there's actually working 3D models for those ships, but all the later text, we haven't got anything here, sadly. That's okay, I'll show you those ships in the I was about to say Civilopedia or Wikipedia, but it's not none of those things. What else have we got? Embassy, we haven't met anyone yet, so obviously there's not much to show there. Here we go, we'll go to science. So if I go to encyclopedia, we've already looked at some of the buildings, and of course you can read up more about the humans that you're playing as, and there's all the buildings. And what else have we got here? Oh, is there where was it? Starfleet Academy, was that one the other one? No? Yeah, so there's something you haven't seen. That was a pretty cool one. I knew there's a few cool buildings here that we probably are already built on the planet, so I couldn't show you the big screenshot of them, but look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. And there's Utopia Planitia again. Good stuff. Right, so the ships. Here we go. So we've got some colony ships here. Notice how they're different eras, and this is something I'm going to cover. Yeah, like one of the coolest things about this is how they've handled the different eras of Star Trek. I really love the system these guys have used, because there's that many games out there that have tried to get it right, and it's not been right. And the original Birth of the Federation, it was a mess of like weird old ships and new ships, because they didn't have the rights to the original series. They only had Microprose only had the rights to Next Generation, so that knocked out a huge amount of their content. So you had this weird mix of some of the old ships that happened to appear in a Next Gen episode. But whereas this one, you get everything. Look at this. This is Enterprise era. You can tell from the engines. Then you got original series era. Once again, you can really tell from the engines. And then you've got future sort of Next Gen kind of era. And then we've got construction ships here. Look at this, cruisers, the original NX Enterprise there, and so there's its stats, and then you get, there we go, the original series, Constitution class starship, and then you've got upgraded Constitution class, which is one of my favourites, and then you've got the Excelsior, and then it goes to Voyager as the cruiser class. Then you got the bigger explorer ships, so this was the Ambassador class, and then of course the beautiful Galaxy class starship, very strong shields and hull there, looking good. Then you got frigates here, look at this, the Daedalus, it says they're older, tinier ship, and oh wow, look at that, that's a good shot, isn't it? That's the Reliant, Star Trek 2. And that one is a made-up one, I believe. That doesn't look like anything I've seen before, I don't think. Then you got heavy destroyers. Yes, that was the Stargazer, like Picard's first ship. So that's sort of, I guess, just after Kirk era kind of ship. And then you got, oh yes, I can't remember the name of this particular type, but I know it's a steam runner, and it's featured in many games, but it's always been a background ship in the films and things. Got hospital ships, and oh yes, there's Dr. Crusher's ship from the final episode of Star Trek. Got your Scout class here, and oh yes, very good, the Miranda there, I think. And yes, I remember that one too. I can't remember its name though. Oh, what was it? Saber. There you go. You got strike cruisers. I think that's not seen before, that one. And Nebula, good for bombing presumably. And then you got your survey ships. There, oh look at that. Of course that's the Oberth we've seen many a time, haven't we? Isn't that awesome how they've managed to bring in the Nova from that Voyager episode as a survey ship? I mean, you're just perfectly covering all the eras. And you got troop transports. Now you guys are probably thinking, hang on, where's the Defiant? Where's that? We haven't got those techs yet. Even when putting it to Supreme Tech, you still have to discover the last few techs. I'll show you them in a sec. Look at this. Even the star bases have original series equivalents. Look at that. Science Station, and then look at this. I remember that from, well, sort of an equivalent of that. It's in the original series. Maybe this is a bit better actually. It's got a few more features. And then look at that. Of course, it becomes the starbase we all know and love from the film era and the Next Gen era. So if you go to the research matrix, if we go here, there we go. So you've got a Strike Cruiser 3, which is, I can't remember the name of that one. Oh, I know it, but I've just forgotten because it's been a while. I haven't watched any Star Trek in quite a while, I'm sorry. But there's, of course, the beautiful Sovereign. There's the Explorer 3, which will be, presumably, the ultimate ship. And you got a powerful tactical cruiser, which, of course, was that ship from the Voyager episode that with which the Romulans stole. That was a cool ship. And there's the Defiant unleashing hell. Look at that, Heavy Destroyer 3. So I love the way they've categorized. I mean, you've got all these eras of Star Trek. It's always the hardest thing. How do you make a game that fulfills the fans who want everything? You know, Star Trek fans, we're a picky bunch of bastards. You know, we've got original series purists who hate everything else. You've got next gen people who don't want anything else. You've got DS9 fans. You know, you got these and Voyager fans. You've got everyone who likes their thing and they're less tolerant of other things, and they will cry foul if they feel you've not covered all bases. So I think these guys have done a brilliant job. So that's enough for the Federation. I think there's just Intel here, which get your internal colony stuff for later on when you're micromanaging things, and then you can use it for, I think, for spying and trading and stuff later on. So let's get to some other races. So we'll go, I think I'll hit retire. And
the United Federation of Planets.
The Klingon so you can really see what the progress these guys have made with the alien interfaces. Like, I tried it in 2016 and it still had some ancient stuff, so they've already, just in the last sort of 6 months or so, done a hell of a lot of work. So here we've got some nice Klingon colours. I mean, it's obviously not like the full-blown Klingon interface that we had in the original Birth Federation, because I think there's still limitations. I mean, maybe they'll still work on it, but you know what? I'm actually pretty happy with what they've done, considering. Like, you know, it looks nice. I like the colours. It's very sharp. It's pretty good. So this is, what's that? It's a black hole. And, got some starting ships here. Bird of Prey. Some more Bird of Preys. Some different types of ships there. So I go to, oh, look at this. Yeah, you got a different click interface just like in the original game. I think they had different ones for each of the different races. This is obviously far more elaborate, isn't it? Problem is, the only complaint I have is it probably needs, just for us idiots, you know, like telling us what it does. I got to sit here going, woof there. That's diplomacy. That's technology. That'll be the planet one. Here we go. Now this is once again we can really show off the coolness and the uniqueness of the different races. I mean, look at this. Got it's listening post the same, military fleet yard's different though, and you got different buildings. So the hunting ground, of course, is their food source. You're gonna go hunt that targ, and that's interesting. Lightning bolts striking down strange buildings. Combat testing center. Got different music too. Noticing. It's quite loud actually. I might turn that down slightly because I don't want it to interfere with my microphone recording. Some of them are obviously generic buildings, but then you've got unique ones like Praxis. Oh yes, got to mine that dilithium on Praxis, get those slaves to do their work. Alright, so we'll go to, oh, nah, there's no point there because you don't have any pictures, so we'll go to the technology one again. And we'll show off some of the good stuff. Is there anything else there? There's some unique Klingon buildings here, look at that. See, isn't that awesome? Forced labour. Hall of Warriors. Wicked. You just got everything. If you're someone who's really obsessed with Klingon stuff and you love everything about them, then you just eat this stuff up, don't you? I remember that. That's from the episode, the Romulan Klingon prison that Worf went and found those Klingons at. So that's all very good stuff. I love it. Klingon batteries. And here we go. Okay, so what do we got? We've got the attack cruiser 1 and 2. The Vorcha. Very strong. Now, this fixes, of course, that one of my most frustrating imbalances in the original Birth of Federation. They took the ultimate Klingon ship, the Negvar, and they made it a mid-range bomber. And the Vorcha was the ultimate ship, and it was almost like they threw in the Negvar at the last minute and went, oh, yeah, we'll just make it that. It was so annoying, because it's obviously the ultimate Klingon battleship, that ship, and so fortunately this one, it's all good. And look at this, you got classic era Klingon ships, gets better into the movie era, and then you sort of got the 24th century equivalent ones where they were still, you know, just using upgraded versions of them. Klingon colony totally made up. That's interesting looking, isn't it? Very different designs, actually. It's like different people have been making the ships. They might want to work on that part a bit more. Destroyer, that's a new one. That's an interesting hybrid sort of version of the old classic era. That's kind of cool. The Destroyer 3 looks like a mini Negvar. That's like a modified bird of prey. I don't know if it's the one we saw in Enterprise. It might actually be a modified one again. Because remember, Enterprise had those like pre-bird of preys. Scout 1. That's interesting looking. Scout 2. Scout 3, the modern bird of prey that we all know and love. Strike cruisers are more powerful. The D12 bird of prey, that's sort of fitting with the original Birth of Federation. And then there's the upgraded D12 here, so there's some powerful bird of preys there. Survey ships, sort of more kind of bird of prey-ish looking things. That's almost taking a little bit back from the old classic cruisers. Troop transports. That's fitting. That's actually what the Klingon transports look like, because I think we saw some in DS9, if I recall. So that's pretty cool. Fleet yards. Yeah, that matches the starbase, I think, in the original Birth of Federation, because they had to totally make it up. Oh no, there is one in a DS9 episode, so maybe it fits with that. I don't know, can't remember. Oh, and I nearly forgot to show you guys the Attack Cruiser 3, the Negvar. I was going on and on about the Negvar, and I nearly forgot to actually show you guys the Negvar. So there it is in the future text. So you haven't quite got it yet, but obviously once you get it, it will be quite devastating. Go back into here. Oh, I like the primitive farm picture. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? The giant moon and the grassy field. That's some really cool fantasy stuff. You just want to be standing on that field, don't you? Alright, next race. Let's go to another one.
The United Federation of...
Now we've got to do the Dominion. Obviously this is the one we all wanted, and there's mods out there to convert the original Birth of the Federation game to have them. But here they are dedicated, they're properly made, and they're part of the game, so let's do it. Not bad on the interface. And now this is fun actually to see what they've done with this one, because obviously the Dominion, you only see one era. You never saw their old stuff, so they'd have to totally make that up. Look at that. I love that too. They're actually in the Amarian Nebula, and the planet is not orbiting a sun. I mean, there's presumably a sun kind of in there, I think, but isn't that awesome? I just love the authenticity, you know. Although strategically, Rise, you might be at a bit of a disadvantage because there's only one planet in the system, although it's a bloody big planet. So maybe they'll be okay after all, but you know, a lot of the other races start with multiple planets. So go into the system. Let's have a look at their buildings. Oh, there's some great stuff here, isn't there? Dominion Fleet Yard, look at that. Oh, isn't that wicked? Oh, that's brilliant. I love it. I'm a big fan of the Dominion, so this is really cool. Look at this. I love it how they've all got that Founder's Homeworld, because remember it was a purpley, strange world with, yeah, actually in fact it didn't have a sun, I remember that now. Look at that, it's all very purple and moody. Oh god, I love it. That is wicked. Changeling Network, Commercial Exchange. That's regular buildings. Oh, that's cool. Water Cloning Lab. Awesome. And oh, Ketracel White Distribution Center. That's awesome. Alright, so let's go to science and really dig into what they've got. And look at this, you can read about the different parts of what makes the Dominion the Dominion. So they cover all three parts there, which is really cool. I love it how it covers all that kind of stuff. And what else? There's some cool stuff here. Culling. Oh. Jemadar Barracks. Ketracel White Factory. The Great Link. Oh, look at that. There you go. That's another excellent one, unique to this race. really cool. We saw the white distribution center, that's all generic stuff, we've seen all that. So we'll go down to the ships, let's see what they got. There's the battery. So that now, obviously, most of this is going to be entirely new. Like, they've just had to be creative, the fans who've made this game. Because it didn't exist. Attack Ship 2, that's like a simple version of the standard ship we all know. And there's starting to look like the one we know. And then there's the final product. Oh, there might be actually another one in the tech thing, I'm not sure. Battle cruisers. There we go, we're getting towards what we know. Look at that. Very familiar looking. That's the super duper one, isn't it? That's a big one. That's a weird looking one, but oh no, actually no. I think this is still the standard one, whereas yeah, Battleship 3 is the one that we saw, that super ship that we saw in the later part of Deep Space Nine, which was apparently 4 times the size of a Galaxy class starship, so yeah, that's a Battleship 3. I'll show you that in a sec. Colony ships. Done a pretty good job at capturing that Dominion feel as best as they can. Some of the designs are pretty strange though, aren't they? That looks like an insect. Wow. Yeah, I love that fleet yard picture, that's sick. Dominion bases. I think that's fitting. Isn't that the prison one where they were, where Dr. Bashir ends up and he finds Martok and all that? That looks freaky. That is totally made up. We never saw anything like that, and that is cool. That is epic. Look at that thing. Man. Damn, that is awesome. I like that. And if we go to Research Matrix, let's see, what do we got here? There it is. Battleship 3. Yep, that'd be the big super duper one that we saw carve up that Defiant class ship, and then we saw it make appearances in various battles after that point. Anything else? I think that's it. Looks like they've already got the latest of the fighters and battleships and stuff. It is literally, that's the last ship left for the Dominion, the super battleship. God knows what its stats are, and it's probably just ridiculously powerful. Let's do another one. And then I'll probably, I don't know if I'll do them all. Maybe I should, just very quickly.
The United Federation of
the Romulan Star Empire.
So we'll do them next, and then we'll do the Cardassians. Because, like I said, our Star Trek fans, we're picky bunches. There'll be some Romulan or Cardassian fan who'll crack the shits at me if I don't show them all. So, look at all this. Oh, and I should, of course I haven't played the game either, I should muck around with that too for a bit, just so you guys get an idea of it. Let's have a look. I'm going to go to the system view. And once again, you've got a nice system. I think it's got Romulus Prime, Remus. Brilliant. I love it. Love the graphics. You've got some generic buildings, but also some Romulan ones. Oh yes, there's this great thing I noticed. Imperial Fleet Yard. Some of the buildings, you can tell they're authentic ones from the Romulan homeworld. This stuff's entirely new. That's pretty cool. But look at this. Some of these shots, there's that famous map painting that was used throughout Next Generation, and then they used a really enhanced one for the film Nemesis, and you can tell that some of these buildings, these are generic ones, but some of them are taken from that. See, look at this. Habitation, orbital battery, there's another one. Shield generator, singularity plant, substation generator, surplus depot. If I go to the other thing, because I noticed this before, there was like, I'll just fly through. See, that's, look at that. You can just tell these are from that map painting. Look at that one, the Imperial Senate. Well, that's something we've all seen before in the films and TV shows. There's another one from the shot. There's another one. So you can tell they've either got a map painting or a fan recreation of the map painting and just carved out little bits. That's something else, but there's another one. Carved out little bits to design all the Romulan buildings. I mean, it's a Romulan city in that painting, so of course you've got that many buildings you can cut out and use, so good on them. It just adds to that authenticity. Look at that one. Isn't that excellent? Tau Shiar. And it's the proper picture again. Brilliant. There's another one. I love that. So if you're a Romulan fan, you really feel like you feel that immersion. It's awesome. So alright, so let's get down to the good stuff. Romulan battery there. Battlehawk. Those are some made up ones to cover those classes, colony ships. Ha! That's actually kind of funny. It's pretty original series, Enterprise era looking, I suppose, but just very strangely shaped. Oh god, that hideous thing. I hated that ship in Birth Federation 1. Totally made up by Micropose. It's just, I don't know, just looks like a fat bird with little wings or something, I don't know. Construction ship cruiser. Oh, look at that. That is very Enterprise era. Possibly the actual one we saw when the Enterprise encountered the Romulans in season was it 4 or 2? I'm trying to remember when they ran into that minefield. Of course, we know that one. Good old Romulan appearance in the original series. And that one's another Birth Federation model. That one's made up for this game. That's totally made up. That's interesting looking, isn't it? We know that that's a great era, original series era one again. That's made up, but kind of cool looking. And then we start to get to this kind of stuff. That's it could actually be the ones we saw in Nemesis trying to take on the Scimitar. Actually, that's something that's missing. I think this game should totally have the Scimitar, the super Romulan Reman battleship. I reckon that would be an awesome addition as the ultimate Romulan ship, but I don't think it's in the game, sadly. Pretty good. We know that one. Good old scout ship design. Look at that. There we go. That's more like the scout ship we know, isn't it? That one there. Another one, troop transport. The old style. That you had to have that era. Once again, authentic. The original series era when they did that trade with the Klingons, and they gave the Klingons cloaking tech, and they got the D what do they call it? The D7 or the D10 or whatever, the Klingon battleship, and covered it in Romulan markings. So at least that's the story version. Of course, in real life, there was just budget cutting, and they could only afford to use an old model again. And plus, they loved that model, so I think they wanted to use it again. And of course, the D-Derelict class, the Warbird we all know and love. I'll have to look at the future tech then. I'll double check that one. What's coming up? Outposts. It's pretty similar to what we've seen before. Yeah, actually, some of this stuff's unique and new. That's pretty cool. So what's left? A Warhawk, a Battlehawk 3. So maybe that Warhawk is the one we saw in Nemesis, I'm not sure. But it's a pity. I think, I absolutely love this Romulan thing, that's the thing. It's a very small complaint. I would only say that I reckon they should bring in a bit more Reman stuff, bring in the Scimitar, maybe some more stuff to do with breeding them as their, shock troopers, because, they use them to fight the Jem'Hadar and defeat them in many battles, and so, it'd be, I think that would be a cool addition. But I think that's everything for the Romulans. We'll go and do the Cardassians, and then I'll just have a muck around Federation game just for a few minutes.
The United Federation of Planets.
The Romulan.
The Cardassian Union.
Cardassia! For Cardassia! They've got a big system, don't they? Quite a few things there. I love that animation. I love the detail. Smooth, sharp, looks great. Oh, look at that! They've done a unique Cardassian interface again, haven't they? Isn't that excellent? I love that. Once they've got one of these for all the races, it'll be so cool. Now you should have lots of unique Cardassian structures mixed up here. Listening post, fleet yard. It's interesting looking, isn't it? Oh, nice painting. Whatever the fan artwork they got for this, the incredible stuff. Or they've just stolen it, I don't know, no idea. But whoever did it is a very talented person. Look at that, beautiful stuff, isn't it? Oh, wow. Oh, now of course we recognise that orbital battery, don't we? We saw that carving up Sisko's fleet at the end of season 6 of DS9. Very nice. Let's get to them technologies, eh? If I can find it. Which one's that one? Oh, wow, I actually got it right. Total fluke there, guys. Alright. Central Command. Oh, wicked. I mean, it doesn't exactly look Cardassian, but shit, it looks good, doesn't it? Charge collectors. Forced labour farms. That's what the Cardassians is all. Actually, I really enjoy playing as the Cardassians original game because they had incredible industry, and you know, you could just. They were not nice, but you know, they were there. You could. It was quite fun to capture. I actually preferred capturing races than, because some of them would love me, the minor races, and they'd want to join me, and I'd actually end up just getting into an argument with them so I could invade their world, because I wanted to put the slave labor buildings on the planet because to get me more resources. You know, that's the kind of nice guy I am. How Goldacott of me. Let's look at their ships. So they've come up with some interesting... Oh god, not the bloody box ship again. I always hated that ship in the original Birth of the Federation. It's not these guys' fault, they're just, you know, continuing from the original Microprose game. But to me, you know, I work in an office, and when, you know, cardboard boxes come in, they're all folded out, and you've got to fold them together. Seriously, that looks just like a cardboard box that hasn't been folded yet. It's even got the bloody side flaps. You just fold that around, and in it goes, you got a box. So I've always called it the bloody box ship, ever since I was a kid. Anyway, loading over. Look at this. Oh, good stuff. It's like little modifications of the Gala class. That's very Gala class looking, but Corral they're calling it. Some of these are obviously the original Birth of the Federation, but they've modified. Look at that, they come up with a whole new Dreadnought class, which is pretty cool. Just to give them some super ships. That's very Gala looking. It's a bit strange when you mix though between shots from the show and artwork. It's loses a bit of the consistency when you got stuff like that going on. But yeah, once again a very tiny complaint. I'm pretty bloody impressed with everything, to be honest. What have we got for bases? Of course you got to have DS9, don't you? That's got to be coming up. Yes, 2 different DS9 shots there. That's interesting. Oh wait, don't leave yet, Daniel. So what do they get at the end? I think they get us another Dreadnought, another super duper Dreadnought. Do they get anything else? I mean, obviously there's some more text below, so there could be some more coming that we can't see, but yeah. So that's the Cardassians. I'll go back to yes.
The United Federation of Planets.
Just muck around very quickly. See if I can attack some people. Now, there's as you probably heard me hinting at earlier, there's no battles. Sorry, I mean there are battles, but there's no 3D battle screen like the original game, because obviously it's pretty bloody difficult for fans to make that kind of thing. So, you know, it's hit that. Yeah, there you go. Oh god, we've already found the Breen. That's scary. The Breen have advanced weapons, so we must be extremely cautious. It will take great diplomacy. Yep, okay. So yeah, I like this. You get a nice summary. It's interactive. God, this would be a pretty sucky game, unless of course you can bring the Breen to you. But haven't they got any ships? Oh, that's a shame, because I wanted to show off the minor races could build their ships right, but in the original Birth of the Federation they all got the same crappy generic ship, whereas in this they actually get the ships that that race has. So we're very unlucky here, because I can't see any Breen ships in the system, which sucks, because Breen ships of course are really awesome. So I would have loved to have shown you guys that, but there's for some reason in this game the Breen haven't built any ships. Presumably at some point they'll build a ship to harass you a bit, but oh. Well, isn't there anything there? Well, that's a crap system. Oh no, it's not. Okay, hang on. I can't remember. How do I... Oh, there we go. Right click. Oh, it took me forever to figure that out last time for some reason. Right, well. Keep going. We'll go next turn. The Bandy! Yeah, I think from what I've... Oh, God, I know. I can see that there's even more sort of love and care given to the minor races in this game. It'd be great to see if there's actually more minor races than were in the original Birth of the Federation, and then what special abilities they have, because I'm pretty sure there are. I know I've encountered a couple that were not in the original game, and I remember when I was doing my playthrough last year, I was like, wow, because I'm pretty sure I saw some. And and they had unique special abilities, you know, that these guys have come up with. It was really cool. Go there, and you go there. We're not going to got nowhere for this bloody colony ship, do I? Go there. I can't really be bothered building stuff right now. Yeah, let's not worry about that. I really am just having a simple muck around. Oh, something's happened. Here we go. So this is what the battle looks like. So you can hail them, obviously, which will hopefully avoid it if they're not an aggressive enemy. But what's this? Colony ship. That'd be Cardassian. I can see the symbol, in fact. Engage. Engage again, and bang. So what you do is, each time you hit engage, that's activating turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. So you notice how his life bar was dropping as each time I clicked engage. So yeah, you still get the turn-based combat in this one, where everyone's trading blows, except you're not getting that beautiful 3D presentation and being able to direct your ships. But you never know. I mean, one day they might, but of course it's bloody hard. I mean, I've seen the people making this mod posting that you know, it's just still in the too hard basket. Someone many years ago was mucking around with one. There's some videos on YouTube that I actually linked to on my site, where you can see someone was testing some battles with a Galaxy class starship, but obviously that person must have left the project or given up or something. I don't know what happened, but yeah, so we've encountered a major race here. But you know what, I mean, you know, it sucks that that's not there, but the fact that you can pretty much play the whole game, I mean, everything else is pretty much here now. It's a very complete game, so it's pretty awesome, isn't it? So I just blew up the Cardassians, so they're instantly going to hate me. So they should be my diplomacy thing. Let's have a look. Yeah, embassy. Now we've got all these races to talk to, don't we? Regard and trust. The ass is going to drop after what I did to them. Good in. Oh, I like the options. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Alright, I think that's it. I mean, this video is getting a bit long now, and I only want to do the whole thing in one part, so I think I'm going to call it quits there. I hope you guys have enjoyed the presentation, and I strongly recommend you go and check out this fan game. I mean, it's obviously completely free. You can go, I've got the links, I'll put the links in the description of this video. They're on the end card. There's a link to my website and my Star Trek gaming page, where I've got this, the other projects, with all their download links directly to the demos, to their forums, to their Facebook pages, so you can get to the right place and support them, because they need your support. If you're someone with a bit of talent, then they need your help, you know. Help them get these projects done. And I'm going to end this video before I choke to death. Bye.